can't believe I'm actually making this video. This is so exciting. Ah! Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abigail and today we have a very exciting video because today I get to talk about the fact that I am going to BookCon 2026 in New York City. I can't believe that I actually get to go to this event. I am so excited. I have so much I want to say, so let's just get into talking about it. So starting off, what is BookCon? If you're unfamiliar, BookCon is a convention that is put on by ReedPop. It started in 2014 as like a public counterpart to the book industry expo that happens in New York as well. So that one was obviously for like industry people who worked in publishing and in the bookish space and stuff. So you couldn't just like buy a ticket to that. So BookCon was created as a more public facing, you can buy a ticket and go and meet all these people and be in the bookish community. That happened in tandem to BEA, the Book Industry Expo. Like I said, it started in 2014, and if you have been watching BookTube for a very long time, you know that like 2014, 2015, 2016 was like the golden era of BookTube. And that's really when BookTube and books came into my life. Why do I even want to go to this event? Why does it mean so much to me? That's what we're gonna talk about right now. So for context, I moved from Alabama to Texas the summer before my 6th grade year in 2013. And I moved over the summer and I had no friends. I didn't know a single person who lived in Texas. All I knew was my family. So I spent a lot of time that summer obviously hanging out with my family, but like, you know, when you're 11 or 12 or whatever, like it's the whole summer and you don't have any friends and you're just like, I just wasn't having it, okay? That year before in 5th grade, I had read The Hunger Games, and that was when like The Hunger Games was like really booming and like really like it was this whole thing in like 2012. So I was already a little bit of a reader. I had kind of liked reading all growing up, Magic Tree House, you know, I had just done Hunger Games, all that stuff. So I picked up the Divergent series and I loved it. I devoured Divergent and Insurgent in like 2 or 3 days. And I remember I had my mom drive me to Barnes & Noble to try to go pick up Allegiant, and I realized that it wasn't even out yet. So I was like, what do I do? What else do I do? And I just started devouring books. I did the Delirium series. I got into The Selection. I got into All the Boys I Loved Before, like all these books. I started doing John Green books. Like I just started devouring whatever I could kind of get my hands on in terms of books. And because I didn't know anyone, I didn't have any friends, I didn't really have people that I could go talk to about these stories that I was like obsessed with and just like couldn't stop thinking about. It's 2013 and I have an iPhone. What do? I turn to the internet. And that is when I found all the OG YouTubers, Christine Riccio, Katytastic, Jesse the Reader, a Clockwork Reader, like all of these people were talking about the books that I loved and that I was enjoying so much, and I could hear them talk about it and I could watch videos about it and I could read the comments and I could go on Instagram and I could see all these things, and that meant a lot to me at that time because, like I said, I knew no one. I had no friends. And so this really was like my community in that way. Then I eventually started school and all of the people that I became friends with had read Divergent. I remember Divergent had come out that year and we all dressed up for the midnight release and it was like this whole thing. But all of it started with my love for these OG booktubers and my love for these books. And I remember when Book Expo started, all of them went. They all met up and they did collabs and I was watching all their videos and they were all hanging out, and it was like this one big community all going to this one event in New York City that just seemed so magical and just seemed so fun. And I always really wanted to go. I was in middle school and then I was in high school and it was kind of just like, I'm not gonna go to a Book Expo in New York. I'm 14, you know what I mean? It started in 2014, the last one was in 2019, and then they had one scheduled for 2020, but then the world shut down, COVID, pandemic, and it was canceled, and they have not been back since. So when they announced this year that 2026 BookCon was coming back, oh my god, I wanted to go so bad because now I'm an adult. I found this book convention and I found these people when I was like 11, 12, and now I'm 23. So I have the means to go and I wanted to go. I actually did not get tickets on the first drop and I was so devastated. I was so upset because a couple of my friends from my book club are going. Specifically, my one friend, Thomas, I knew was going, and we have bonded a lot over our love for these OG booktubers. We're actually going to meet Christine Riccio in January with our friend Sydney for her book tour for 30, Flirty, and Forever Alone, and I'm so excited for that. But I knew that he was going, and we have talked about our love for these OG booktubers before, and it just felt like so like, oh my god, I cannot believe I'm not going. We're not having this moment together, like not doing this whole like full circle thing that I've always wanted to do. And then And then they announced that they were gonna do a limited drop for Saturday and Sunday tickets, and I set my alarms. I logged on at 10:30 Central Standard Time because they were gonna go on sale at 11. I actually vlogged that experience, so I will play that for you now. Enjoy. I look really bad. I'm having a skin flare up. I haven't washed my face. Like, this is, you're seeing me at my absolute lowest right now. But I'm taking you on the journey with me. I'm in the queue right now. It is 11:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, which means it's 12:05 Eastern Standard Time. Tickets went on sale 5 minutes ago. I'm in the virtual queue. I have 2 virtual queue tabs open. I have my original one that I joined at 10:30, and then I have one that I joined like not that many minutes ago. And the one that I joined not that many minutes ago is ahead of the one that was at 10:30. And we're gonna hope I get tickets. I got the credit card ready. I have to get 4. I am nervous. I have been in the queue for many minutes, and I am nervous that I'm going to get in there and everything's going to be sold out already, or I won't be able to get 4 because I have to get some for me and some for my friend. I'm really nervous. I'm having anxiety. Oh, the one that I joined at 10:30 is moving along. Okay, I want these tickets so bad, and I didn't get them the first time because I didn't know that they went on sale at 12 Eastern. I thought they went on sale at 12. Silly little me, so I got on at 12, not 11. My man is getting closer. I'm almost there. I had all my, okay. My little man is about to move for my first one. I want to go so bad. Okay, BookCon, I just looked at their Instagram. They have not said the tickets are out of stock yet. Everyone in the comments is saying that their little man has not moved. My little man is almost done. So he's almost there, guys. Like, just get to the end. Get to the end. You're almost there. Literally, like, this much room. Okay. Oh, okay, I got 2 tickets. Okay, guys, I got them in my cart. I got them. Okay, yay. Oh my gosh, I got them. So yes, I got the tickets. I was so stressed out, as I'm sure you could see in that video. And like, I remember I added them to my cart, then I hit pay, and it's processing my payment, and then it was like, the things in your cart are no longer available. So I was like, fuck, they're sold out. Like, oh my God. But no, I got them, and I'm going to BookCon in New York. I'm so freaking excited. I'm so freaking excited. Point blank period. I'm so excited. So now the big question is, who am I gonna meet? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna read in preparation for this event? And that's what we're talking about now. Just to preface, okay? They have not announced all of their authors that are gonna be attending, and I also don't know anyone who's gonna be on Indie Alley. So they have like more mainstream published authors that they're announcing, and they're also doing an Indie Alley for indie authors. I don't know anyone on Indie Alley. I don't know if they've even said anything or like confirmed anyone for Indie Alley, or if they will announce anyone for Indie Alley. And they definitely have not announced all the authors that are gonna be in attendance. So I'm working off of the limited information that I have right now as of December 9th, 2025. I'm assuming in the new year, come January and February, I will have a full list of authors, and then I can really tailor my BookCon TBR to the people that I really want to see. So I'm working off limited information. I'm also working off limited information about how signing lines will work, how feasible it is I'm going to be able to meet all these people. I don't know how lines work, if it's going to be queues, if it's going to be like, is it feasible that I'm going to meet these people, or am I going to be waiting in a lot of lines? Like, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know signing limits. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring books. I don't know anything. This is me working off my very limited experience from going to one book convention and then knowing what I know about BookCon right now. And my last little disclaimer is that there are going to be a ton of amazing authors that are going to be at this event. It is going to be the largest BookCon I've ever been to. So I want to pace myself in terms of who I'm going to try to see. And I also want to focus on authors who I'm already familiar with their work, I've already read their work, or I already own their books. Because A, this is a very expensive trip that I'm taking, and I want to maximize my time that I'm there to authors that I already really know and love, or at least authors that are already on my radar, especially because there's gonna be so many amazing authors that are going that I'm sure have fantastic work that I would probably love. But I have a really big TBR, physical TBR. I mean, my physical TBR takes up 3 shelves. I want to prioritize prioritize authors that I already own their books and I already have them on my radar, because obviously those are books that I know I really want to read and I already have them, or I've already read some of their stuff that I'm really excited about and I see like finished trilogy or whatever. That is what this list is about. So no, it does not include every single author that they've announced. It just includes people who fall into the categories of, is their work already on my radar? Do I already own it? Or have I already read anything by them? With all of that being said, let's get into my BookCon TBR so far. Hi, one more little disclaimer. I kind of mention it later when I start talking, but I never properly introduced it. This list is broken up into two parts, a high priority and a low priority list. The high priority list is people that I definitely want to do everything in my power to read these books before I go to New York. And then the low priority list is books that I would love to get to and authors I would love to get to. But if I don't before I go, it's not the end of the world to me. That does not mean that I'm any less excited to read their books or that these authors are any less amazing or that I want to meet them any less. It just means I have to start somewhere, and so here's where I'm starting. That's that. Okay, now here's actually my BookCon TBR. Let's start with someone who I'm actually not going to read any of her books before I go, but it just feels appropriate that I go meet her at this event, Miss Veronica Roth. This all started because I read Divergent, I love Divergent, and I wanted to see or talk to people who also loved the series that I love so much. I actually already have my Allegiant signed. I met her when Allegiant came out, and that was many, many years ago. I would definitely like to meet her and get my other Divergent books signed, so Divergent, Insurgent, and 4. I have this really amazing like full circle moment with this author that I know and love. I know she has adult works that she's promoting and stuff. It's not on my radar, so like I said, I'm not going to try to add it just because it's not on my radar, but I do really want to meet her and get those things signed. Okay. Next up on the listy-loo, Miss Leigh Bardugo. I love Leigh Bardugo. I have already read 9000 Hellbent, and I really, really want to do the Grishaverse before I go to BookCon. I already own the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so I want to read those and then get 6 of Crows. I have this feeling deep in my soul that I will absolutely love 6 of Crows, but I have been told by many people to do Shadow and Bone first, so that's what I'm gonna do. But it is my utmost goal to do the Grishaverse before I meet Leigh Bardugo. I also own The Familiar by her. That is not very high on my TBR list to get it done before April. It would be great to get to The Familiar. My main focus with Leigh Bardugo for leading up to BookCon is the Grishaverse, the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and the 6 of Crows duology. Next up is Holly Black. I own The Cruel Prince by her, which I believe is called the Folk of Air trilogy. That's what I wrote it down as. It seems like, and I kind of struggled to figure out exactly what it is, so if you have some insight on this, please let me know. But it seemed like this is 3 books with 1 novella. I would love to read these. I've had Cruel Prince on my radar for so long. So many of my book club friends really love it, and I've owned it for a really long time, so I would love to get to reading Cruel Prince before I meet Holly in April. I also know that she's going to be promoting Thief of Night, the second book in like her adult fantasy series or trilogy or whatever duology. I don't actually know what it is. First book is called Book of Night. I would really love to get to that, but I don't own either of those, and I think that if I do Cruel Prince, I will have done Holly Black some justice before I go to meet her. So that is my main focus with Holly Black, is the Cruel Prince, Folk of Air trilogy, whatever it is. Again, I can't really figure out exactly how many books it is or what the order is, so if you know, let me know. Let's talk. Next up is Olivia Blake. I was so excited when they announced Olivia Blake. I love Olivia Blake as a human, and as an author, I just adore her. I have already read the first 2 books in the Atlas trilogy, so I've done Atlas Paradox and Atlas 6. I own the Atlas Complex, and I need to just like finish that up, and that is something I really want to do, is finish the Atlas trilogy. I think that's very reasonable. I also own Alone with You in the Ether, Gifted and Talented, and January's, her short story anthologies. I would ideally really like to get through all 3 of them, but my main 2 priorities are going to be January's and Gifted and Talented after I finish the Atlas trilogy. But I would love to read all of them before I go, honestly, but those are like the 3 that I really want to focus on for her before I go visit New York City. I also really want to meet Victoria Aveyard of Red Queen fame. I want to read what I used to have a problem with my R's, can you tell? I really want to read The Red Queen because Powerless was on my orbit in my, you kind of could not go on the internet in like 2021, 2022, whenever that kind of happened without hearing about Powerless. And I own Powerless, but I have learned that Powerless is a pretty direct, I don't want to say ripoff, but I will say that the stories they're very close. And I would love to read the source material. So I would really love to read the Red Queen trilogy or series. Or I guess it's a series, because I think it's 4 books and a novella. So I'd really love to read those, or at least start it. And I would love to meet her and have read Red Queen. Next up on the list of authors that I super duper want to meet, that are very high priority for me, is Carissa Broadbent. She writes the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Serpent in the Wings of the Night. That is her. I own Serpent in the Wings of the Night. I've owned it for forever. I want to read it. One of my favorite YouTubers, Meredith, I don't know how to say her last name, Meredith Navaco, or girl, Meredith, you're watching this, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her last name, but she loves it. It's like her favorite like fantasy series, and I value her opinion a lot. I really want to get to this. I can't quite figure out how many books are out right now. I thought it was just 2, but the internet says it's 4, so I don't know how true that is, but I would like to at least start it. I would like to at least read the first 2 before I go to New York. Seems like my kind of vibe, so I'd like to check it out. And then lastly on the list of authors that are super high priority for me that I definitely want to read before I go out there, Tracy Deonn, who writes the Legendborn series. I have so many friends who absolutely adore the Legendborn series, and I've heard so many good things about it, and it's been on my radar for so long. I would love to meet her and at least have started these books. They seem really fantastic. I've heard such amazing things about them. I've had friends who have met her and say that she's great and amazing. So I'm very excited about that. Next up are authors who I'd really love to meet, and I would really love to read these stories, but they aren't quite as high priority on my TBR for a couple of different reasons, depending on who it is. So we're just gonna go over it now. We have Casey McQuiston, who wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue. This just isn't as high priority because I don't already own it, and there's other books that I really want to get to first and prioritize first on my BookCon list. This is something that I definitely want to get to by the end of the year, but if I can't get to it by April, it is what it is. Next up is Samantha Shannon, who does, I don't know what the series is called, but she writes Priory of the Orange Tree. I want to read that book so bad. I have just heard it is so amazing, and I want to read it so bad. I just have so many books I want to read, and that book is so large that I don't know if I would get to it before April, because like I'm in school, I work full time. That's a really big book, and I want to, when I read that, really give it the time that it deserves, because I don't want to like rush through it and then like rush my experience with it. That is a book that I really want to be able to savor. So if I can get to it, that would be fantastic. I would love nothing more. However, I also have to be realistic with myself. I have just listed so many books that are high priority. My high priority book list is, let me tell you right now,
5, 8.5, 9.5, 10, 14, 18,
22. I have 22 high priority books that I want to read before April. And I think I'm going to read Priory of the Orange Tree in that, girl. I've got to be realistic with myself. I would absolutely love to do it, but I have to be realistic. And that book is just so large, and I want to take my time with it and not feel rushed. So I would love to, but it has to go in low priority because I just got to be so honest with myself. I just have to be so honest with myself. Next up is Chuck Tingle. There's one book by him that I just really want to read. I wanted to get it so bad at the hardcover sale last year, at the end of the year, but they didn't have it at any of the Barnes & Nobles that I went to. I want to read Bury Your Gaze. Queer representation and, you know, queer baiting in the media, those are things that are really important to me as a queer person myself. I just really would love to read about that. I want to, but it's low priority because I don't already own it. Basically, out of every book that's on my high priority list, I already own it. But hardcover sale is coming, so who knows? That might move up. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, is Chloe Gong. I really want to read the These Violent Delights duology. I think those covers are beautiful. I also love These Violent Delights, These Violent Ends. I think it's so poetic. It reminds me of Twilight, okay? Again, I just don't own them. And having counted up that I have 22 high priority books is kind of giving me a migraine just thinking about it. To read before April, mind you. To read before April. So I really would love to read those books. And I think that those are probably ones that I could get through pretty quickly because I'm pretty sure they're YA. And they're not very long, I don't think, but they have to go on my low priority list because, like I said, I already own so many of the books that are on my high priority list. But Christmas is coming, and this is when I get my most books out of the year because I get a lot of books for Christmas, and then I shop hardcover sale because usually I'll get Barnes & Noble gift cards. So a lot of these books, if I don't already own them, are going on my book Christmas list. So we'll just have to see how the year unfolds. But that is my BookCon TBR as of right now with the authors that they have announced. Once I get a full author list, I will maybe make an updated video if that's something you guys are interested in with my fully fleshed out BookCon TBR. Just like when I know all the information that I need to know to like really make that list. But that's where it is right now. I'm a little bit overwhelmed now that I've said it all out loud and know how many books it is I'm really trying to read. I'm just gonna not pressure myself. I want to really enjoy these stories. I think that it's perfectly fine to take a book and be an author even if I haven't read their work, because I'm excited to read their work, and I think that's just as important of an experience for the author-reader experience. And overall, I'm just so excited that I get to go experiences in New York and go spend a weekend in New York with my friends and have this incredible experience at an event that I've wanted to go to for so long. Really quickly, they have done some vendor announcements as well, and I want to highlight some vendors that I'm really excited to see. So just really quick rapid fire, Bookbo. They are actually a local vendor bookish merch shop to me here in Texas, and I love their tote bags. I wanted to get a tote bag so many times. I see them at Get Lit Book Fair that happens in DFW all the time, and I always want to get a tote bag, but I've never bitten the bullet. I've decided BookCon, I'm biting the bullet. Bonding Over Books, which is a card game. I'm kind of interested to see how that might go for like maybe like taking my book club for something fun. There's Kingdom of Threads, who does enamel pins, stationery, apparel, and stickers. BuzzFeed Bookish, who does PJs, hats, shirts, jewelry, enamel pins, totes, and all sorts of any other thing you could think of in the world. And Pin Story, who does enamel pins. I'll have all of them linked down below for you to check out and shop and look at their Instagrams and everything. Those are just some vendors that I am excited to see. That is gonna be it for my BookCon 2026 announcement video. I'm so grateful that I got a ticket and so excited to be going, and I can't wait to share this experience and this journey with you. There will be lots of BookCon videos leading up to the event, an updated TBR video that's something you guys would be interested in, probably some packing videos, some travel vlogs, some vlogs while I'm there, like a experience wrap-up video, all sorts of good stuff. So I'm so excited to have this experience and to go with my friends and spend some springtime in New York doing bookish things. We're talking about going to go see a Broadway show, so like that'll be really fun if we get tickets to something good. I'm so excited, and that's all I got to say. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it more than you could possibly ever know. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, the internet things you know how to do, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.